Hi, my name is Primal Dhillon. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity to share why I would like to be a part of Khan Academy's mission. I believe the purpose of school is to ignite a spark in the mind of an individual for a lifelong love of learning. Education must stretch the thought process of students through engaging and enriching instructional experiences. As such, it is my personal quest to find which variables affect engagement the most and how does engagement translate into maximum learning. I want to work with Khan Academy to share my learning from diverse settings across 3 countries and 2 decades. My experience includes teaching physics and economics in middle school and university setting in India, as well as teaching in Canada and New York City public schools. I would like to join the Khan movement to help implement and scale what I have learned works and to collaborate with highly passionate peer educators to discover the elusive elements of the link between engagement and learning. When I was in grade 5, I became friends with Ninder, a farm laborer's daughter who was about my age, but she had never gone to school. I wanted to teach her how to read and write, and she also really wanted to learn. We spent countless hours, but the pace was excruciatingly slow. This experience taught me 2 important lessons. The first lesson was in differentiating instruction. My elementary school taught everything in English, and I insisted on teaching her in English. Ninder only spoke Punjabi, and for her it was important to learn to read and write in her home language. Her needs were different from mine, but I was trying to use the same instruction for both of us. We must differentiate for the needs of our individual students and not have the students meet rigid, arbitrary standards. The second lesson that I learned from this experience was in backwards planning. We must plan backwards and begin with a clear end in mind. Was my purpose to teach her English, or was my purpose to teach her to be literate? This is the reason that even today I use strategies from understanding by design, by Wiggins and McTighe in my instructional planning. I want to be clear what is the objective of my lesson. When I moved to Canada, I had an opportunity to rethink my path. I already had my MBA and PhD, but I knew that my passion was in school teaching, and I went back to college to get a bachelor's of education. During the summer of 2003, I spent most of the time planning lessons for my assignment for teaching in a middle school in New York City in September. I taught in September from bell to bell, working very hard. However, it wasn't really working. One day, when I checked a student for not paying attention, her response jolted me. She said, "Your teaching doesn't matter because all you care about is your lesson. You don't care about me." I learned that our teaching skills are irrelevant if a student is not receptive. We must understand our students' social emotional state. 2 years ago, while analyzing attendance data at my school, I realized that absence rates for Ls were significantly higher than for English speakers. I collaborated with L teachers at our school, and based on socio-emotive receptiveness, we initiated a peer and adult mentoring program. Attendance and scores have gone up since then. Students were motivated by the knowledge that someone believed in their ability and someone cared about their success. I understand that for finding solutions, we must collaborate, and building community is extremely important. After all, it takes a village to raise a child. I want to contribute to reducing gaps in access and equity in education. I remember from years ago, Bhira, a household helper who was 12 years old, could dismantle the broken water pump and re-engineer it without help. He could open the dysfunctional ceiling fan, rewire it, and make it work, but he would never be an engineer. In fact, he would never even learn to read and write. Teaching MBA students in India, I came to realize they all came from privileged upper-class background, a problematic cycle. Working in an inner city school in New York, where more than 60% of students come from low-income families, I am reminded of the modern day gaps in access and equity on a daily basis. As teachers, it is important for us to not focus on covering the curriculum. We must use meaningful assessments to identify gaps in learning before we try to proceed to more complex concepts. Mastery of foundational skills is a prerequisite to success. Looking for solutions, I believe that technology can help us by improving engagement, empowering our students, and reducing lack of access and equity in the long run. This is true not only of Mountain View, but also of Nindar's village. I want to be a part of a solution where Nindar's daughter can learn to read and write and Bhira's children can innovate for us. I am excited by the prospect of innovation in education, the challenges, the opportunities, and the journey. And most importantly, as a lifelong learner, what better place for me to grow and learn than with Khan Academy. I look forward to meeting the challenge head on. Thank you.